Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to go through all of my high-end foundations, which I only own high-end foundations right now. I actually don't have any drugstore foundations, but thought I would go through each one specifically, give you my thoughts on them, my opinions on them, and then of course link corresponding review videos, because a good handful of these I did a full review with check-ins all throughout the day, and just so if there's a foundation that really piques your interest and you want to learn even more about it, I will link that down below, the corresponding video, or put it in a card, and then you can head on over and watch if you really are like, man, maybe I want to buy that one. I want to know specifically how long it lasts and stuff like that. So I thought it would be kind of a good informational video that you might learn a lot, especially if you're new to high-end foundations, or if you're not new and you're looking for something new. Like you're like, I'm tired of what I'm wearing, or I just want to try something new and different. I thought this would be absolutely a great video for you guys. So I'm going to start off by telling you my skin type. So right now it is February, and my skin type down here in the South, we are in Texas. It's not too cold out. It's not cold at all. It's like 80 degrees today, which is crazy to me. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin, so for me to live in the very south part of Texas is just crazy. I never fathomed this would happen, side note. But anyways, it's not winter. But typically, if it were winter and I was living anywhere other than here, up north, I would have very, like drier skin. I'm not experiencing too much dryness. I'm really just a normal skin type. I have a great skincare routine. I'm going to preface this video by saying take care of your skin. That is number one. You can't mask a problem. You really need to fix the problem before, no foundation is going to make your skin look flawless if the true issue is, like, say, dryness or redness. Like, tackle your skin first. That's the biggest piece of advice I can tell you. However, you take care of your skin, then that makes your foundation not have to work as hard, and your foundation's going to look better because you're got a good moisturizer and you got a good routine going on, so on and so forth. If you're interested in my skincare routine, things that I'm doing, I'll link those below too. I do need to do an updated one though, but I will. Remind me. Probably later this spring, I'll do like what I've been doing for the past 6 months kind of thing, because that's a better way to do it than to just say like what I've been doing for the past month. Like 6 months, that's a good time to see like how things are going. Anyways, side note, okay. So that's my skin type. I'm very normal. I lean a little bit more, I don't even think I'm dry. I think I'm just straight up normal. Some foundations I can get a little more oily with, but for the most part, I am just straight across the board normal skin type. So I'm going to start off with some of my older foundations that I really need to use up. So this is the YSL Le Tint Touche Eclat. They have since reformulated this. All right, so I have not tried the newest release. I think they kind of renamed it like Radiance or something. I purchased this particular one in 2014. This one has an SPF of 19. The new one has an SPF of 22. I'm going to be referencing my notes. I wrote stuff down so I do not miss anything to tell you. So the new one has an SPF of 22. This was the first expensive high-end foundation I ever bought, and I fell in love with it when I got a sample, and then that's what prompted me to get the full size. I do that a lot. I rarely buy a foundation because someone told me it's awesome. And I say that because it's really important to test it out for your skin type, to see, like, because I'm not oily, so I can't attest to oily skin how it's going to last in oily skin. So it's really important to get a sample. I mean, if you're going to spend $60, $70 on an expensive foundation, you better get a sample. That's parenting advice, not parenting, but you know what I mean? Just like, okay, whatever, you do you. But anyways, this gives you very luminous, very radiant, very pretty. It's very skin-like on the skin. It's not heavy, it's not cakey, and that is the old version. Now, like I said, I haven't tried the new one, but I'm going to still tell you about this one because I have a feeling they're going to be similar. This has, because of its ability to just kind of like sit on top of the skin really skin-like, it helps reduce those signs of fatigue and just like dry, dehydrated skin. This is going to give you that dewy, radiant look. It comes in 22 different shades. I am in the shade B40. Now, I think that is a huge shade range. I think that's fabulous. Not every foundation you will encounter is going to have your shade, and that can be frustrating, especially when you know, ooh, my phone's going off. Especially when you know and you've had your girlfriends tell you, hey, this is an awesome foundation, and you guys have similar skin types, and then you can't get your shade, and that's really annoying. Sometimes you have to buy more than one foundation and mix, and that gets really expensive. I do find this doesn't last all day on me. I'd say about 8 hours max before it starts to break up. Yes, I do a primer. Yes, I usually set my face. I just find it just doesn't last. I mean, so if you're looking for a night out foundation, maybe this is it, but not if you're gonna go dancing and sweating. But if you're gonna go dancing and sweating, who cares? Whatever. You know what I mean? But this is a really pretty one. It retails for $58. And what else did I want to tell you? You get 1 fluid ounce. Most foundations, that's kind of like the going rate is 1 fluid ounce, and I'd say it gives you about medium coverage. It builds nicely without looking cakey. Not all foundations do that, and I do prefer to apply this with, like, say I've been loving applying most of my foundations with the Sephora Pro Flawless Airbrush number 56 right now. I think brushes, the types of brushes you use, or the sponges you use with certain foundations, some go together, some just are not meant to go together. So application is something else you really need to take into consideration too. Maybe change up the way you're applying it, how much you're applying, the tool that you're using to really find the best combo. I like this foundation with a brush. I've tried it with the Beauty Blender. I think it shears it out too much. So that's my thoughts on the YSL Le Tint Touche Eclat. The second foundation is the Dior Skin Star Foundation. I do have a video on this one, a video demo, review video, whatever it tells you. Video, why do I say that like 16 times? I'll link it below, beginning and end of that one. This is beautiful. I'm actually wearing this foundation today. This is Studio Makeup Spectacular Brightening Weightless Perfection with Sunscreen. That is what they claim. It has an SPF of 30. However, mine's probably expired by this point because I've had it since 2014. But I don't care because I don't rely on my SPF in my foundation, and I don't think you should either. I think having an actual separate sunscreen, whether it be in your moisturizer or not even in your moisturizer and just straight up separate, is really important. Because I'm not sure how reliable these can be, especially when your foundation is older. Now, this isn't breaking me out. It doesn't smell bad. It's not doing anything funky, so I think it is fine. I am in the shade 20. Now, this foundation goes from shade 20 to shade 10, which is the lightest. It's actually kind of a big jump from shade 10 to 20. Not based on number, but just like the undertones in the foundation. So finding a shade in this particular foundation might be a little trickier for you. They have 14 shades. So I think the shade 10 was a little bit too light for me, and shade 20 is a little bit too dark. I kind of blend it down my neck a little bit and do a little bit of that bronzing action, and then it works okay. And another trick that I want to share with you is turtlenecks, or like a cowl neck or whatever. I mean, you can wear, if it's too dark, you can wear a turtleneck and no one will ever know. I do that a lot. So if you see me wearing a turtleneck, chances are that the foundation is too dark for me. So this is SPF of 30. I already told you that. You get 1 fluid ounce. This is $50 for this foundation. I find that this gives, really good coverage. I put on 1 pump today. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm doing this motion like I put on 1 pump. I did 1 pump on my face today, and I feel like it gave me really good full coverage. Now, don't rely on a foundation to cover up one zit by applying 2 layers of foundation. That's where concealer comes into play. So think about that too when you're applying it. I think the packaging on this is really beautiful. It's really sophisticated. What else do I want to say about this? I'd say it's good medium to full coverage. Now, not full coverage like Estee Lauder Double Wear full coverage. I mean like it still looks like skin, but you cannot see your issues underneath type of full coverage. So really enjoy the Dior Star. I find that the wear time on this is really good. I'd say I get a good full day out of this one without having to worry about touching up at all. It gives a really softly lit, almost like blurred appearance to the skin. I find that it looks very velvety on my face, and I like that look. I like that velvety look because it's somewhere in between a soft radiance and like you know how matte or like a full coverage foundation typically is matte so that it lasts and it doesn't break up due to oils and all that kind of thing. It's somewhere in between that, and I think that's like, for me, what I love, because when your foundation is matte, everything else just looks better upon. It's no different than like a matte canvas. Like the colors just pop more, or the brilliance just pops more, because you're not competing with, like velvety. You're not competing with like a radiant skin and then a radiant blush and then a radiant highlighter, and there's just all this going on. You know what I mean? So I really enjoy that foundation. Okay, this next foundation, I love this foundation. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that. This was in my yearly favorites last year. I bought this at the beginning of last year to do a review, so I do have a whole review on this. I will link that. And this is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. Now, this came out when last year the craze of the serum type foundations was like the thing, to do like a more liquidy foundation and have it be buildable yet weightless and look really just skin-like. This is beautiful. This is, you get one, let's see, I wrote it down. You get 1 fluid ounce in this. It does have the dropper as to how you apply this. But a lot of the like serum ones that came out just were too light of coverage. Didn't really last well. This is not like that. This lasts. This gives you excellent coverage. Your skin looks like skin. It doesn't look like makeup-y. The true test is, once again, you sit in your car, outside in the daylight, throw down that mirror and look at yourself and be like, wow, I look like I have cake frosting on my face. Or do you throw it down and be like, wow, I look really pretty and flawless. And that is what this foundation is. I love it. My husband will tell me if a foundation is too cakey or it's too much. He will straight up tell me that my face looks like it's just too much. He doesn't like it. He never tells me that when I wear this. So I love this. This has an SPF of 15. It comes in 21 shades. So a good shade range. You should be able to find something in your shade. I'm in the shade light neutral in this particular foundation. This foundation retails for $39. So as far as pricing is concerned, I think $39 is an awesome price point for a good medium skin-like coverage foundation that lasts, easy peasy, love it. Laura Mercier Silk Cream Oil-Free Photo Edition Foundation. This also comes in a moisturizing edition. I do not have that one. I personally don't think I could wear that one because this one kind of makes me a little bit oily, a little bit dewy. So if you gave me a moisturizing one, I have a feeling that would be like a slippery, hot, disgusting mess. I think of a reference I will not say, but this foundation has, let's see, you get 1 fluid ounce and it comes in 12 shades. I struggled finding a shade in this. This is not my correct shade. This is the shade Cashew Beige, which is super yellow and dark. This is my self-tanning shade. I have not been self-tanning, nor do I have the desire to. I did it once a couple weeks ago, and I just was like, you know what, this is too high maintenance for me. And I was my white sheets and my new towels. I'm just like, I don't want to ruin that stuff. You know what I mean? No. So this is actually way too dark. I don't have that much left in this. This is pretty much almost gone. I like how this foundation makes your skin look really milky and very creamy. Those are scary words, but truly, like when you see people on TV and it's like blurred and their skin just looks milky and creamy and yummy, that's what this foundation does. It has a very creamy texture. It's a little bit thicker. It's not runny or watery like a serum foundation would be. It's not even really the same consistency as another like typical foundation. It's just a little bit more, it's a little thicker. And you can like put it on your hand and it doesn't run down kind of thing. Full coverage, long wearing, full coverage. I like it because it really just, it's full coverage, long lasting all day, and it maintains that creaminess level. But like I said, I do get a little bit dewy, oily with it. So I definitely have to set my T-zone with this. This is not a drying, long lasting, full coverage foundation. It's definitely a lot more, it maintains that creaminess level. I'm sorry I keep using that word, but it just is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of this. This is $48. Now my son is in the room, so I'm hoping he's not going to be too distracting to me or to you, but he's decided not to take a nap. So we will just keep rolling. The next foundation I want to talk about is the Too Faced Born This Way Absolute Perfection Foundation. This is oil-free. You get 1 fluid ounce. This is $39. Another great price point for what you are getting. This comes in 18 different shades. When this first came out, I think there was only like, I want to say 10 or 12, and I kind of took a shot in the dark at the shade because at the time I was kind of self-tanning, so this was a little light for me when I was self-tanning. Now it's a little bit dark because I'm not self-tanning. I'm in the shade light beige. Now this gives you medium to full coverage, buildable. Full coverage, satiny finish. Really, I think the whole concept behind this, I want to say there was like a Marilyn Monroe reference or something, but it was, the people who designed this wanted to have your face look like the skin you were born to have. Like you know when you wake up and you look like a hot mess, but then you put your makeup on and you're like, man, I wish I was born and I just look like this all the time. That was kind of the concept behind this. Really a satiny, velvety, blurred look is what this gives the skin. I think this lasts all day. I think it's great for all skin types, whether you're dry to oily. Now you can always, if you're super dry, you can always add in a drop of beauty oil. You apply it with a beauty blender to get a little bit moisturizing, more of a moisturizing effect. Spray your face with MAC Fix Plus or some sort of beauty spray. Like, there's ways to get around things potentially being too dry, but I don't think you're going to experience that with this. And I do have friends that have oily skin and they also enjoy this foundation. So I really enjoy this. I think it's great, and I think for $39, if you're looking for something that's going to be like a long-lasting full coverage foundation that's going to give you more of a satin finish and less of a creamy finish, check out the Too Faced Born This Way. You can do Snapchat, but don't send it to anyone, okay? I'm sorry for those of you that get random Snapchats from me. It's not me. They take my phone, and all of a sudden later at night I'm like scrolling through my phone. I'm like, I didn't take this picture. Oh my gosh, I didn't send a Snapchat to that person. I guess I did. Clinique Super Balanced Silk Makeup Foundation with SPF of 15. I got this in the fall. I do have a dedicated video review on this, and I will link that below for all of the in-depth about this. But the little quick overshot, this is $25. Okay, this is like, I think this is the cheapest high-end foundation. I mean, Clinique is very affordable, very accessible, and I think that's why a lot of people, when they start to buy their own makeup or they first get into like higher end things, they go to the Clinique counter because it's kind of at that mid-market, it's not drugstore, it's not super high-end or luxury. It is high-end, but it's totally affordable. I mean, $25, back when I was making $5 an hour minimum wage, I could have swung $25. In fact, I think, because I grew up in what I used was Mary Kay. I didn't use drugstore and I didn't use high-end. I used Mary Kay, and that was probably about $25 then. Anyways, this even reminds me of the bottle that I used to wear from Mary Kay in that frosted glass, which, speaking of, I think it's really pretty. I'm in the shade 08 Silk Canvas, and it is in the moderately fair to neutral color category. They have different color categories, so for shade reference. This comes in 20 shades. It does not have a pump. Huge packaging downfall for me is no pump. It's kind of messy. But if you're like me and you mix it, put your foundation on the back of your hand anyways, what difference does it make? It just can be a little bit. But you're only paying $25. So I guess if they jacked the price up to $39 or $35 and threw a pump on, you'd still be paying for it anyways. So keep that in mind when you're looking at foundations. Very lightweight, very silky, velvety look to the skin. Okay, so here's the other downside to this for me. It only lasts about 7 hours before it starts to look a little funky. Like things start to disappear a little bit. You start to get that patchy foundation look where you're like, I swear I blended my foundation this morning. Sometimes we have those days where it doesn't quite get blended back over here or whatever. But I do notice it starts to break up in like this area around the 7 hour mark. So it gives great medium coverage though. Really, really blends into the skin nicely, almost undetectable. Really nice lightweight. So if you're looking for something, a little bit more inexpensive to try and those specs sound really interesting to you, I'd say it has a very natural finish to it. Medium coverage, sheer to medium. I mean, you can get a really light coverage with this should you desire, but I think this is a good option. This next foundation is the Lift Foundation by Dolce & Gabbana. Perfect Reveal Lift Foundation with sunscreen, SPF of 25. This Lift line, they also have a matte counterpart if this luminous finish foundation is like making you run for the hills. This retails for $61. You get 1 fluid ounce. Comes in 13 colors. So this is the shade Bronze 144. This is once again my self-tanning shade. I got a sample of this, backstory, I got a sample of this in an order, and I put it on, and I was just blown away by how beautiful my face looked, and that is what prompted me to buy this foundation. It just, we're talking flawless, silky, it's really marketed for, like, mature skin, fine lines, aging, wrinkles. This doesn't settle, okay, and it really looks like skin, and it's very luminous finish, like when you freshly wash your face, do your skincare and you throw on your moisturizer and your skin's very luminous and pretty and just soft, supple, delicious. That's what this foundation does. I do have a complete review for this one. I will link that for you. But it's a very luminous, beautiful, healthy looking skin foundation. If you're oily, you're going to hate this. Don't even. You could mix it with something else though. You know, if you really want to have some of the effects of a luminous foundation, start mixing and cocktailing. I do it all the time. Like often, like I'll have a majority of one foundation, but then I'll put in a little bit of a squirt of something else because I like something about that other foundation. And I find sometimes you can get your perfect foundation by cocktailing. Just write down those cocktails because more often than not I forget what I wore and I go back to the video and I'm like, what was I wearing? I look so good. No clue. So basically, this is great for mature aging skin, fine lines, wrinkles, doesn't sit on top of it, very healthy, glowy, dewy looking skin. I recently talked about this particular foundation in a high-end products that I think are worth the money, this being one of them. This is $63. This is the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau Invisible Skin Fusion Foundation with SPF of 20. Now, prior to that video, I was not aware that they had reformulated or repackaged or whatever they did to this foundation. The bottle looks different on Sephora. I liked the old bottle myself. So I wasn't aware of that when I made that video and you guys informed me of that. And some of you said that you thought that the new one was different, it wasn't as good, or you liked the new one better, or you didn't really even see a difference. There was really a lot of mixed opinions. And so foundation, mascara, I mean, they're really a personal thing. That's something where it really has to do with what kind of lashes do you have? What kind of skin type do you have? Are you oily? Are you dry? Like, there's things you got to take into consideration. Are you doing enough, like, skincare to make your dry skin not be so dry? You know what I mean? Like, so some of those things I take with a grain of salt and I try it for myself. And then I tell you, based on my skin type, my opinions on it. So this gives you medium to full coverage. It really looks, Elsa, get out of the blinds. Girlfriend, if you ruin those blinds, I am going to have to make a trip to Lowe's, and I do not want to have to do that today. Sorry. She's squishing her little body through the little slats, and all I see is a tail and a butthole sticking out of my face. Anyways, this is very natural. It looks very skin-like. I appreciate a foundation that gives me full coverage without getting to that cake situation. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love to eat cake, but I don't want it to look like that on my face. I don't want it to enhance what I'm actually trying to mask. You know, I want it to look like skin as much as possible, but still give you that full coverage effect. So this comes in 14 shades in cool, neutral, and warm undertones. Now the old system is, I guess it doesn't matter because they've changed it, but this is the old one and I'm in shade 3. It's actually too dark for me. I'm more like shade 2. I feel like it blends easily into the skin. Isaac Robert, that video's too loud. Turn it down. Oh, good Lord, my lamp is tilting over. Story of my life, when you got kids and animals, there's just always something going down, isn't there? And I'm currently sweating. Okay, I forgot to put on deodorant too. I just remembered that. So, this is very natural. It looks very skin-like, but yet you're going to get that full coverage. So, I have not tried the new one. I don't know, guys, about the new one. I guess I could get a sample and let you know, but I do really enjoy this one. All right, the last foundation that I have right now is very different from any of these. Very different. All right, the last foundation that I have, it's the last one, we're going to make it, is so vastly different from any of these other foundations. This is, I'd have a review on this, a separate one, and even in the title of that review, I wrote the word shocking, because this is shockingly full coverage in the smallest amount of foundation you will ever need. And it's because it has so much pigmentation. Like, the pigments within this foundation are so great. It's the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation. This is one of those serum ones, came out last year. I bought this and did a whole review on it. Okay, so this, as far as the container is concerned, the dropper and all this gets really messy. But, I mean, this is enough foundation to last you until you die. Like, you could probably use this every day for 3 years straight. It probably would last you 3 years. That's not an exaggeration. Anyways, the smallest amount, we're talking like 2 or 3 drops max, covers your entire face. You just need to make sure to use the right brush for this, okay? This is not a beauty blender situation. This isn't even a flat top kabuki situation. I wouldn't even use this to blend this out. I prefer a bigger version of this, like a big, dense kabuki brush. I actually think I accidentally got rid of it, but it was a Tarte brush that came with an old foundation, and it was like dense, kabuki style, but dense like this, but rounded, and it really moved everything around quickly, efficiently, and I didn't have too much pigment stuck in one spot, so I had a serious cake. Okay, Here, cake. You want to talk about cake? You do too much of this, you're going to hate yourself. You're going to hate your face. You're going to be like, I hate this foundation. Less is more, and I cannot reiterate that enough. This is $55. It comes in 22 shades, so another good shade range. There are 2 times as much pigment in this foundation as any other foundation. Okay, so it's going to last you a long time. You need a very small amount. The pigments, it says, are wrapped in lecithin. And that is a thing. It's not a thing. It's like a chemical thing or something. It's anyways, it basically means that it's similar to skin. So it really blends into your skin nicely, glides really quickly. Like I said, if you use the right brush, it really blends in nicely. Full stinking coverage. I'm in the shade 27 Bisque Neutral, and like the name implies, it is remarkably full coverage. That is it. That is all of my high-end foundations. Actually, these are all the foundations that I own. I don't have any other foundations. Actually, no, I lied. I have one that is in the drawer. I did not include because they don't make it anymore, so I thought, what is the point of even sharing that, because they're not going to be able to buy it. And if you're curious, it's the Tarte Maracuja Miracle Foundation. No, Found Sailor, which I do have a review on that one too, but I love that one. They got rid of it, so I was like, oh, that's so depressing. I can't even tell them I like it. So yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I should have probably said this in the beginning instead of at the tail end of things, but whatever. Welcome. I hope you stay and subscribe. I would love to have you guys here. And I think that's all that I have to share with you today. Let me know if there's like another like category of things you want me to do, like a collection and review on. I've kind of been doing like this mini collection thing. I started with my MAC blushes and my MAC lipsticks. Now I've moved on to my foundations. Maybe I should do some sort of eyeshadow video next. Like, is there a specific brand you want me to pull all of my eyeshadows together from? Like maybe NARS or something. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. This look, if you are interested, I'll have it linked below. It's my Valentine's Get Ready With Me Valentine's Day look, using a palette I'm freaking loving right now, the Viseart Warm Matte palette. But anyways, I'll have that link below too. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off because I can get really weird really quick, and we're gonna chat really soon. Mwah. Bye guys, love you.